Good morning. It is Thursday morning and it is the 25th of March. It's Palm Sunday this week, and then after that's Easter. And so we're moving through and concluding Lent and on to Resurrection Sunday. We're in that last night here with John Stott. We're looking at today's devotion is entitled The Trial Before Pilate. The Trial Before Pilate. Suggested reading is John chapter 18, verses 28 through 38. He quotes here in the opening the verses 28 and 29. Then the Jews led Jesus from Caiaphas to the place of the Roman governor. So Pilate came out to them and asked, "What charges are you bringing against this man?" Rome had a worldwide reputation for the justice of its law courts. It is in keeping with its imperial legal procedures that the session began. Pilate asked what charges Jesus' accusers were bringing against their prisoner. In reply, the Jewish leaders accused Jesus of three offenses. One, of subverting our nation, or of forbidding the payment of taxes to Caesar, and of claiming to be Christ, a king. The first two charges seem somewhat imprecise, but the third was a serious indictment of treason. It has also raised Pilate's suspicions. The prisoner did not look like a king. What sort of a king was he? His kingly rule, Jesus explained, was to bear witness to the truth. One of the striking features of the evangelist's narrative is Pilate's repeated declaration of Jesus' innocence. After the preliminary hearing, for example, Pilate said, "I find no basis for a charge against this man." Next, after Herod had sent Jesus back to Pilate, Pilate affirmed, I have found no basis for your charges against him. Neither is Herod." And that's in Luke 23:14 and 15. Then when the crowd demanded his death, Pilate responded to them, "I have found in him no grounds for the death penalty," Luke 23:22. Pilate's wife then created a dramatic diversion by sending him a message. "Don't have anything to do with that innocent man," and that's in Matthew 27:19. Her reason was that she had had a bad dream about him. Finally, Pilate took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood." Matthew 27:24. Thus, on 5 distinct occasions, Pilate is recorded as having declared Jesus innocent. This was, of course, deliberate. While Christianity remained a religio illicita, or that's Latin for an illegal religion, in the Roman Empire, it was important to establish the innocence of Jesus. The evangelist did it by quoting no less a person than Pontius Pilate, the procurator of the Roman province of Judea. I've always found it interesting, Pilate's story. He had the authority to declare Jesus innocent, and he did on several occasions, as we've just read. And yet at the end of the day did not use his authority to release Jesus. He has Jesus beaten, thinking that'll make the crowd happy, has him whipped, thinks that'll make the crowd happy, but it doesn't. You can't make the crowd happy. Once they've set their mind to wanting something, you either stand for it to the last breath, or you throw in the towel. And throwing in the towel, as Pilate shows us here, is not a good thing. It can be difficult to take a stand for Jesus. Can be, often is. And Jesus told us to be prepared for that. The world is going to hate us. Here's Pilate, a man with all of Rome's influence and power. He represents them there in that place, and yet, for fear of his own standing, for fear of what taking a stand for Jesus would do to his position and his life and his wealth, he gave in. That is often the reason people turn their back on Jesus. He costs too much to follow. That's why Jesus warns, if you're going to follow me, first count the cost. First count the cost. Count the cost. Think about that today. What may come your way today that would put the pressure on you to not take a stand with Jesus? Be prepared. Lord, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Blessings to you today. Amen.